All right, so as we discussed, I'm going to give you some remedies for back pain. We just have to keep in mind that everyone has slightly different triggers for their back pain, but more often than not, people will fall in the category of being adverse to loading of the spine, which is if you're just sitting or you're standing, we'll say that's about 100% body weight on the spine. Typically, sitting is actually a little bit more. And then as we start to round forward, it's more and more. So we all know not to lift something in a rounded back position, but we have to realize that we ourselves are actually relatively heavy. So when we are just bending forward or we're rounding, this is really aggravating the spine, more specifically some of the discs in between those vertebrae. So, instead of spending your day always bending forward to get relief, especially while you are sitting or standing, which is a lot of load on the spine, I'd rather see you come into all fours. So hands and knees, and we do cat-cow or cat-camel. So round and arch. Your goal here is to really create some nice fluid, smooth motion. So a lot of people will have more difficulty with this position. Sometimes it's actually a little bit irritable. So I'd say like gently work into these, and usually we'll shoot for about 10 repetitions. Okay, from here, next one I like to see is laying on your stomach. So in this position, you can just kind of like prop up on the forearms. Try to feel like you relax your back muscles. Sometimes I'll do like a little bit of a shake to try to feel like they soften. And then stay here for about 1 to 2 minutes. Most people will get to a point where they cannot tolerate this anymore, and those little facet joints in the back start to get irritated, especially you don't spend a lot of time in this position. If this is too much, what you can do is just set up here, relax your forehead on your hand, same thing, a little shake. Try to feel like the muscles relax. Take some nice deep breaths, right? Just get comfortable in this position. After about 1 minute to 2 minutes, go ahead and stand up. You can go ahead and do that as often as you need to during the day, right? The spine is not loaded in this position, so it generally feels a lot better. After that, I'd say your next best go-to would be a stretch here. So hip flexor stretch. You can put something under the knee if this is uncomfortable. I feel like I am pushing my belt buckle forward. I'm contracting, tightening the glute muscle. I'll feel a nice stretch. I'll stay here, same thing, about 1 minute to 2 minutes, taking some nice breaths, trying to feel like this muscle relaxes. These hip flexors, right, come up the hip, they attach onto the spine. They tend to get stiff and short because we spend a lot of time in sitting. So from a front view, it would look like this, right? Hips forward, tighten the glute, stay here. If you want to get a little bit more stretch to this hip flexor, you can put one arm up. So it'll look like this. And then you can add a little bit of a side bend. Don't go too much, it might irritate the back. So arm up, little side bend. You can hang out here for about 10 or 20 seconds, return. And like I said, we'll keep repeating that over the course of 1 to 2 minutes.